Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman and Lucy Lehman, and I want to take you on a quick garden tour of my fall secret garden. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranberry Fields Flower Farm here in Cranberry, New Jersey, and I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun, free flower tip video. So let's dive right in. So here it is fall. I am in my New Jersey Planting Hardiness Zone 6 secret garden and flower farm, and we've got a beautiful limelight hydrangea in back of us, and we just finished making a YouTube video showing how we kind of prune this into more of a tree form. So we're going to get that posted soon. It might actually be up there already by the time that you see this video. And basically we just cut off the bottom branches when the plant was dormant. So it's a good idea if you want to have your limelight hydrangea in more of a tree form like this, you can just kind of trim off some of those lower branches, but just make sure that you do that when the plant is dormant. So a really good time to do that is towards like the end of winter or early spring, because you never want to do a heavy pruning right before like the plant starts to go dormant, because it might spurn a growth spurt. So you don't want to do that like, like if you're in September or early October. So maybe wait till the plant's dormant, and that's a good time to try that out. And so this is what the backyard looks like this time of year. I just wanted to show you some of the beautiful trees. I mean, they just look like they're on fire. They're all aglow. So spectacular. God is so great. And so this is what my butterfly bush looks like now. It's going out of bloom. And what I will do is I'll wind up giving this like a good pruning back once it goes completely dormant. And these bushes get so big. And we have tons and tons of butterflies on them all season long, but it starts to get really overgrown. And what happens is if I don't prune this back once the plant goes dormant, a lot of times that heavy snow will sit on the branches and it will crack off some of the branches. So it's a good idea to get in there into your garden when things are really dormant, you know that they're not pushing forth any more growth or they don't have blooms, and give some of those heavier branches on some of your, hedges and some of your shrubs just a little bit of a trimming so that they don't crack off. But always figure out if it's safe or not to do depending on which plant that you use. So let's keep on going through here. So we've got some milkweed in here, and I plant a lot of milkweed because they are the host plant for monarch butterflies. So at this point, these were pods that were filled with loads and loads and loads of seeds. And I'm trying to see if there's any left, but I think they actually all kind of fell to the ground. Oh, I take it back. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is the best. Okay, so how incredible is this? This is what the seeds look like from a milkweed plant. Aren't they beautiful? It almost looks like a pine cone, but if you separate them, it has like a very silky feel. This feels like silk. And then these seeds usually self-seed themselves. And if you've ever grown milkweed, you'll know that if you start off with just a few plants, you will wind up with a load of new plants the following year because they keep spreading out. So it's a beautiful way to attract those monarch butterflies to your garden. And a lot of times I'll save these seeds and I'll put them in a really cool, like little gift box, or like a little piece of satin, and wrap it up with ribbon. And I'll give this as a gift in like either a stocking stuffer or to friends of mine that love gardening. So it's a really fun gift. So I'm going to put that in my little coat pocket over here and save that for later. So let's move on. So we've got another limelight hydrangea that's in the middle of the garden over there. Once again, we kind of prune that to kind of like that tree form, because if we left it in that bush form, all those blooms on the bottom of the plant would wind up clogging up a lot of the space. And it's really good to have a lot of aeration at the base of your plants. So it was a good idea to just kind of prune them from the bottom. I need to do a little more of a heavier pruning there to kind of clean that up. And this way there's more aeration at the base of my garden, even for the other plants, so that there's a lot of airflow and that I won't have a lot of fungal issues later on in the summer. So there's a crepe myrtle that's going out of bloom right now, but that's usually a spectacular pink plant. And then we've got another limelight hydrangea right here that's just going out of bloom. These were Blackeyed Susans. And right now I leave them in place because they've got beautiful seeds that are all at the top of the flower head, and they're going to wind up self-seeding also. And over here I've got some Montauk Daisies that came into bloom. So guys, Montauk Daisies usually come into bloom later in the season. So there's all sorts of different daisies, Shasta daisies, Montauk daisies. These are the later bloomers, and I love them because it's one of the only flowers that's blooming in my garden at this time of year. So let's see, let's keep walking through over here. Another limelight hydrangea. Once again, you can tell I really like doing those tree forms, so we cut a lot from the base of the plant. And now we've got that tree form. More Blackeyed Susans. And then we've got some tall grasses here. You can take a look at some of the red crepe myrtles that we have in the back. So those crepe myrtles turn to like that orangey red, and they're beautiful. They were normally like a spectacular, all sorts of spectacular colors during the summer. And as you walk through here, you can see some of the beautiful flower arrangements that are going out the barn door today. And these were all built from the fall flowers. So we actually wound up putting a whole bunch of fall leaves in here. We wound up putting some celosia. Celosia is one of the hardier flowers that will last in the garden, even when it starts to get really, really super cold out. But it won't survive too many frosts, but it is one of the last flowers standing. And then we have a whole bunch of beautiful grasses that we put in here. And I have to say we cheated a little bit and got some store-bought mini carnations and some Alstro, because at this point, these guys would not be lasting in my garden. But the zinnias did. So we have a few zinnias that are still around. And of course, these hydrangeas that are just spectacular colors. So that's what those look like. We put them in a little white pumpkin. That's the vessel down here, which is super cute. And then the same idea with these other two. But I really like the idea of putting these beautiful fall leaves in these arrangements, because it's the only time of year that you can really do that. So this is one of our Pinky Winky hydrangeas. Super pretty. Very fall-ish. So where else can I take you guys? Let me take you for a little walk this way. This is another butterfly bush. It's from Proven Winners. And this one is called, I like leaving the tags on, this one's called Miss Molly. And so this one's still looking beautiful. We're going to wind up giving that one a little bit of a pruning too when it goes dormant. Oh, Lucy's in the house. Hello, you want to say hi? Hi, everybody. And then, guys, more of these limelight hydrangeas. More grasses. How beautiful these are. They're like silky. Some Flower Tribe members have asked me, do I cut my grasses back at this time of year, or do I leave them in place? And I have to say, for the most part, I will leave a lot of these grasses in place just to give some of our like critter friends some cover for the winter from like the snow and the ice. So a lot of times I'll kind of just leave them in place, and I will cut them back to about maybe like 2 feet come like the end of winter, early spring. Other gardeners don't like the look because it looks very, listen, it looks very wild. And if this is like in the front of your house, it might be a little bit too much for the winter. So you can prune it back once the plant goes dormant, like towards like the end of fall. That's fine too. It just depends on what type of look that you like. So you can come in here like, well, since I'm in New Jersey, I would probably come in here in like November if I was going to cut this back, and I would cut it back then because I know the plant's no longer going to be having a growth spurt, and I can give it a trim and it will go dormant and it will come back beautifully the next year. So fall grasses are beautiful. I'm going to step over you. We've got, this is the back end of that limelight hydrangea. And here's another one over here. Guys, a lot of times these hydrangeas will replant themselves. So they'll kind of like do a self-propagation, and you'll get a whole bunch of baby plants from the mother plant. But I made you a whole bunch of YouTube videos that will be in my hydrangea playlist that will show up on the side of this video. I think I've got about almost 70 videos showing you all sorts of great hydrangea tips and tricks. So you can check that out. And we have a whole bunch showing you how to propagate your hydrangeas yourself. And then here's our Pinky Winky back here. And over here, I've got some Echinacea that, once again, I'm going to leave a lot of these perennials in place because these are going to self-seed. So these are all seeds from the top of the plant. My girlfriend Susie sent me these a while ago. It was one of my favorite gifts I've ever received. She grows beautiful, beautiful Echinacea in her garden and in her pots on her deck. And she knew that I love them because I always tell her that I love your Echinacea. And she sent me a whole bouquet of these stems. It looked like this, wrapped in burlap. It was one of the most beautiful burlap wrap bouquets I ever got, even though it looked like this, because I knew the treasure that was involved in these seeds. So thank you, Susie. And I always think about her whenever I see these, which is kind of cool. And then here's the back end of the garden over here. A lot of times we'll have dinner at this table over here. We'll put some candles out here, some music. We'll put a bottle of wine here. And yeah, so it was like a little kind of secret little getaway over here. And it's just like a really pretty place to come out here and relax and just enjoy being in nature. And guys, you know, nature has a lot of healing qualities. So a lot of times if you're not feeling so good and it's warm enough outside, just kind of bask in all like the greenery and the beauty and the extra oxygen that you're getting from some of these plants. And a lot of times it makes you feel a lot better. So that's it for our garden tour for today. Please feel free to join me over on my Cranberry Fields Instagram page and also on my Kelly Lehman Flowers TikTok channel. And please check out the podcast that I made for you. All of these are in descriptions below. And I made some great, easy to follow online flower courses so you can grow beautiful flowers in your own backyards, just like these. And please also let me know where you're viewing this from in this great, big, beautiful world. I love to see how our flower tribe is growing around the globe each week. And please check out my Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, because there's thousands of gardeners from all over the world, and they're asking and answering loads of garden questions over there. And they are a super garden community. I think you're really going to like the folks over there. All of these are in links and descriptions below. And I will see you guys in the next video.